So just your reaction to Metro's announcement this afternoon.
Well, it was shocking, I'll tell you that. I got a call late in the afternoon that from the board chair that the Metro would shut down to do some testing and evaluation and get back open just as soon as they are able to get that testing and evaluation complete. So we, of course, pulled our team together. We treat this event because it's so significant for the district as a homeland security event. So just like we prepare for a blizzard or there's some other impact on our transportation system, we have convened all of those parties. So that includes our police, and that includes our DDOT, that includes all of the agencies that will work with Metro.
To what extent were you involved in this decision?
None.
So how does that leave you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, do you feel like you should have been consulted rather than just informed?
Well, as you know, Metro is operated by a compact, and we agree. We pay a lot of money, along with Maryland and Virginia, to operate a safe and reliable public transit system. And we have a general manager and a board who are responsible for day-to-day decisions for Metro. So they're closer to the information and to the analysis of the event of yesterday, of Monday, and in the best position to make those decisions. Now, my job, I take very seriously, is to keep the District of Columbia open and running, where people can live and work and do business and do so safely. And we are a customer of Metro, and we expect them to deliver for us in a safe way.
Can you talk about some of the challenges that you're going to face tomorrow and what you're going to be doing to try to keep the city running smoothly?
Well, yeah. So we know how many people ride into the city on a daily basis. We understand that the federal government has adjusted its work policy for tomorrow, and that can help. A lot of federal workers who don't have day-to-day responsibility to deliver services like we do, and do have a pretty robust telework policy, we have seen them take advantage of it, and that helps a lot. That really helps a lot. But DC government will be open for business. Our children will have instruction at schools, and we are doing everything we can from our DDOT. We do have buses, circulator buses. We're working with Metro to make sure any additional Metro bus capacity can also be available.
Any changes to parking regulations tomorrow?
Actually, that may be one I need to get back to you on. It came up in one of our earlier calls, and I don't know where we ended up, but we'll make sure we get that information out.
Mayor, are you upset that you seem to have been kept out of the loop from this decision?
I don't think that I have been kept out of the loop. I think that it is a Metro decision, and Metro made its decision. Now, does it have a significant impact on us? And will we make sure that all of the procedures and principles embedded in the compact are followed? Yes. Do we want to understand their decision making to get to this point? Of course. And we will get the answers to those questions.
So ultimately, do you stand by their decision, or would you have had a different way of approaching the situation?
Honestly, I don't have the information to be able to say that. Literally getting a call a few hours ago about the shutdown of the system, not having all of the access to the information that Metro officials do about what the cause of the fire was and how frequently those pieces of equipment that they seem to be concerned about were inspected. Some of the questions I will have to do with what options did they look at to do this? Is a 24-hour or 29-hour closure the only option, was there another way to do it?
Do you believe that the GM has the authority under the compact to make this decision unilaterally?
I have to think that the GM with the board has the ability to make the operations that keep Metro safe, yes.
What kind of message do you think this sends to the jurisdictions that fund Metro like yours in terms of how Metro is integral and its safety is integral in terms of keeping it funded?
I think everybody knows that. And certainly we do, and we have, at the forefront of that discussion. We know that not only do we need Metro for where we are right now in this region, but we need Metro in terms of how this region is going to grow when we have to have a safe and reliable transit system. There are real consequences when you shut down a system.
Mayor, can you talk about your decision to keep the schools open tomorrow? And walk us through why that was your decision. You talked a lot about how there's more kids riding Metro into your free rides program.
Yes, and they will also have free rides on the bus.
Can you elaborate a little bit more? I mean, that's huge. These kids, for the most part, take buses. They take Metro to and from school, some of them from quadrant to quadrant. It's clearly going to affect them.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit more and how, I mean, what you've talked and spoken with the chancellor and what you guys have come upon?
Well, we want to open school, and it is important to us to have kids have instruction. So a problem on the Metro shouldn't lead to kids not having instruction at schools. And so our focus is going to be how do we get, if we can, additional bus capacity on the high ridership routes. And we know where they are. We know the routes that kids are taking most frequently to get to school and how we add that.
Mayor, some excused absences for some of these students, or is everybody required to be?
We expect staff and students at school.
Thanks, everyone.
Mayor, can you talk
Yep.
let's see. Cut me off.
I can talk, yes.
While he's gathering his thoughts, you mentioned that so you're considering lifting parking restrictions tomorrow?
It was raised in one of our calls with our public safety officials as an issue that we need to look into. So I really don't want to get ahead of this discussion. So I can't remember what time Jack called me. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something like that, 3 o'clock. And then we convened a call when we're preparing, when we want to kick into a protocol for emergencies. And we just kind of did a round robin of what some of the issues could be, and parking was one of them. So we'll get that back out to
What
everybody.
was your initial response to that phone call from Jack Evans?
Well, he wanted to make sure I knew what the board's thinking was, and as always, I wanted to make sure that he knew how important it is for Metro to be up and running for us.
But you weren't expecting this?
I think I said from the outset I was shocked.
Mayor,
Yes.
tomorrow, what do you hope to see or not hope to see as far as, Uber and surge pricing and price gouging by hotels? Are you concerned about any of this? Are you watching it?
We will of course watch it. We can get some feedback from Uber around pricing. I'm not sure if we require a daily report or how we get that information, but I'll check on that. We have a little bit more ability to know in terms of what the taxi cabs are doing. I haven't heard any concerns about hotels, but we expect our business community to be supportive of folks and not take advantage of the situation. And all of our enforcement agencies will be on alert for that.
Any plans, Mayor, for additional police, more traffic control, these kinds
Yes.
of things, expecting huge numbers?
Absolutely. So part of what, and I'm going to refer to my note here real quick because I got a latest update from DDOT as I was walking in about any additional things that they have been done. Okay, so one thing, we're going to offer 24-hour, is that free 24-hour Capital Bike Share memberships. DC Streetcar will open on its regular schedule. DC Circulator, I think we're looking to enhance some routes, but we'll get that information out a little bit later. DDOT is suspending construction-related activity under our public space permits tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., and also in the evening rush. And let's see. We're also going to be able to deploy more of our traffic control officers, and we will deploy a helicopter so that we can monitor traffic.
Any discussion about like opening up lots, things like that, places where people could park for free just because of everything that's going on?
No. I think Metro has said that people could park on their lots for free and ride the bus. But we want to still encourage people to get on the bus. Okay, thank you, everybody.